Yeah. What's good, YouTube? We back with another podcast episode. This is a bonus episode. It's not going to be as long as the other ones. And bonus episodes are only about my personal life. Something funny or something intriguing and interesting that happened in my life. We're not dropping these episodes on the podcast. You guys are going to hear what I say to them, how much of it I give, and then I'm going to just cut them off with the go to YouTube, because YouTube gets the exclusive bonus episodes. Y'all should feel a little bit something for that. You know what I mean? I love y'all, man. Y'all my homies, bro. Just embrace that, bro. Y'all the wolf pack. We out here. And that's my, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to go crazy. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. All right, so let's do the podcast thing. What's really good with y'all? Welcome back to the KTJ podcast. It's your boy KTJ. This is a bonus episode, and it's about an odd story that happened to me. Bonus episodes will always be relationship or some weird ass story that happened in my life. Just some random weird story. It ain't necessarily a relationship. I don't know why I said that, but you know what I mean. But yeah, there's always going to be a personal story, and I have a lot of them. I have a ton of personal stories to share with y'all, and I'm still getting personal stories to this day. You know what I'm saying? So I always have something personal to share as part of the bonus episode. Thank y'all for joining me, man. So this story is about a very odd relationship I had back when I was a freshman in college. And if you want to hear the rest of the story, you got to go to YouTube, because the bonus episodes are exclusive to YouTube. Thanks. That's all they get. Okay, it was kind of rude, kind of mean, but that's all they get. All right, my most loyal viewers, listeners, and all that, y'all on YouTube, and that's where we at right now. This hair is going crazy, bro. Just retwisted it yesterday. Look at this, going crazy. It's madness. It's madness. Just showing all my forehead too, bro. Let me. You know what I'm saying? 1990s this joint. I can't even get it to stay. So let's get into the story, man. We're not gonna take a long time. So, just a little briefing on the part that happens before the story, because it leads up to it. I'm gonna try to go through it as quickly as possible. I went to college at 18 years old. I was fresh into 18. I turned 18 in July, started school in August. I was roommates with my cousin. That's a story for another day, how that happened. And that was my road dog too, so you know what I'm saying? We were crazy on campus. So he was dating somebody when we first started school, and his girlfriend's friend and roommate had a crush on me, so he ended up talking to her. I was talking to her for a few months until my cousin fell out with his girlfriend. They broke up, and the girl I was talking to stopped talking to me because of that. And she said her family wouldn't accept me anymore. So after that, we found out that his ex-girlfriend, not the one he had just broke up with, but the one before her, was living on campus as well. My cousin has a long list. All right, let's just put it that way. She was living on campus. Same dormitory, by the way. They hook back up, start dating again. She has a friend / roommate. It wasn't really her friend. They were backstabbing each other left and right. They were roommates, though. She had a crush on me. And so I was just like, will this end? This is a cycle, isn't it? This is how college works. I'm 18. This girl was like 24 years old, though. She started school late. Or actually, I think she went back to school. She had already had 1 degree, and she went back to get another one. So she had a crush on me, and I wasn't feeling it. 6 years difference, I'm not for it. Because I was like, when I was 18, I mean, when I was 12, she was 18 already. I don't want to do the 24-18 thing. I'm good. Thank you very much. To this day, I still don't even know if she was really 18, if she was really 24, because it was a community college, first of all, 2 years. So if she went to school for 2 years and then came back and went for another 2 years, she was probably only like 20, which would have been cool. That's 2 years. But my friend's new/old girlfriend, she told me that her roommate was 24 years old because she didn't want me to date her roommate. The girl was cute. She was cool, and she was very smart. And if she wasn't so much older than me, I would have been feeling her. And she knew that. My cousin's girlfriend knew that. So she told me that the girl was 24. And I think it was because she was trying to get at me on the low, but whatever, man. I wasn't having it. I thought my cousin's girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? Let's just put it this way. My cousin could have did better. I don't want to speak ill on it. It was so long ago anyway, you know what I'm saying? No matter. But, so that girl spent several months pursuing me. She liked me so much. She spent several months pursuing me, and several years later, she told me that she was falling for me, even though we weren't together or even talking like that. She was falling for me just from hanging around me, because she was the third wheel with my cousin and his girlfriend until I started hanging with them. I stopped going to hoop. I stopped going to play basketball. And I would just lift weights and then go chill with my cousin because I felt like I ain't having no social interaction. I'm just going to hoop and I'm going to the gym to lift weights. So I just stopped hooping and started lifting weights. So I just went and started hanging with them. And she said she started falling for me. She told me this years later. And I was like, I never told her that her roommate told me she was 6 years older than me. I think I should have. I should have. But how do you bring up age to a woman? Like, you just can't do it, bro. You can't do it in a, there's no setting in which asking a woman her age is cool. You know what I mean? So, especially for me, like, I'm from Mississippi. Southern hospitality, Southern charm, courtesy, all that stuff it's real. We don't ask, bro, no situation do we ask a woman her age. And so that information was offered to me. I never asked. If I didn't know that she was older than me, I would have hooked up with her for sure. I would have. And the relationship might have would have worked. And I wouldn't have been with my wife. Wouldn't be having a daughter in July or June because my child's going to be stubborn. I already know she's going to be here in June. I wouldn't have my son. A lot of things that good happened in my life wouldn't have happened if that had happened. So I can't say that I'm upset about it because I'm not. I'm actually happy. I'm perfectly happy because my wife is everything to me and my kids are everything to me. So I'm perfectly happy with how it worked out. But just for the story's sake, I need to tell y'all everything. So this girl, she told me years later that she had fallen in love with me, basically. But back then, she spent all that time pursuing me, trying to get me. And meanwhile, my cousin's girlfriend was telling me that the girl was sleeping around with this dude, that dude, this dude. Like, it was just a gossip line, which is why I say they weren't friends. They were just roommates. Even though the other girl thought that my cousin's girlfriend was her friend. She was not her friend. That was mad weird, bro. It was mad weird. That energy was just weird. So, same dorm that my cousin's ex and current girlfriend lived in. The girl I used to talk to lived in that dorm. And then another girl that I saw one night come out of the dorm building, smile and wave at me. I instantly had a crush on her. I had never seen a girl that looked like her before in my life. Like, you see some girls that's like a dime a dozen. You see some girls that's like plain Jane face. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just look plain. They're not ugly. They're not pretty. They're not anything else. They're not crazy spectacular. They're not, ugh. They're just right. You know? They're just, look at this girl. nah, she's nice. If she has a good personality, she probably becomes beautiful. That's the kind of girl, like, you just used to seeing. You know what I'm saying? Especially down south, you used to seeing those kind of girls. This girl was not from down south. She was in Mississippi in a community college. She was from Africa. She was the only person from Africa that I had ever met in my life until these past, like, 5 or 6 years. I met a guy from Africa. This girl was the only person that I had ever met from Africa. And she was just born there. She hadn't been raised there. She was raised in the country. She wasn't raised down south. She was raised up north in the country. But she was born in Africa. Her parents got her out of there. They were living, it was bad conditions over there. Like, it's a sad story over there, man. But they came to America and they were living good. She had her own car and everything, and they were living in a nice ass house, and like they had it here in the country. They went from Africa being poor to America and living a dream, basically. And yes, they were black. And she was really dark skinned, and I had never seen facial features that looked like hers, bro. She just looked different. She just looked different. Like, it was just so much different, right? And I know that if my wife saw her today, just as a passing, she would think that she was beautiful. Because there's actually this woman who's like, she's probably headed towards her 50s that we used to work with at a school here in this state. My wife used to think she was beautiful because she was really dark skinned and she had some of those same features, bro. And I used to be like, yeah, she is. She is. She looked like she could be straight from Africa. Just based off of what my knowledge is of the people that I've seen come from Africa, since I met that girl. And so I instantly had a crush. Like, I was instantly had a crush. I'm 18. She was 20 or 21, 20 or 21. 2 or 3 years is not 6 years. So I was cool with it. The age difference. But I'm an extremely shy person when it comes to talking to women that I have a crush on. My wife was one of the first women that I ever spoke to that I was really nervous, but I had to speak to her. You know what I mean? Like, before her, it was probably only one other person that I was just like, I got to speak to them. She was my wife. I had to, bro. I had to. That's bae right there. But this girl, I was nervous. Couldn't do it. And so I asked my cousin's girlfriend, mistake, about this girl. And she told me her name, stuff like that. And I was like, okay, cool. Got enough details, right? Knew she had a boyfriend who stayed hours away, who was cheating on her. And she was just about done with the relationship because he was cheating and she knew it. She just needed him to admit it, apparently. I don't know why that's a thing. But so after all that conversation, I decide, cool, I got the information. I'm going to speak to her next time I see her. She has a beautiful smile. I got this. So next time I see her, I don't say nothing. I just smile and say, that was pretty much it. Pretty much all I did. And so the next time I saw her after that, I was in the library. She was in the library. She was on a computer and she was on Facebook. And the only reason why I remember this is because she showed me what Facebook is. I sat down on the computer next to her, the only computer available in the library. My cousin was sitting at the computer 2 computers over from her, which was why I was going in the library. I was kicking it with my cousin. So I go into the computer or into the library, sit down at the computer in between them and speak to my cousin. He ain't doing nothing. He just playing a game or something when he should have been working on a speech. And she's on the computer next to him. She's on Facebook. And And I say something to him about not working on his speech because he was failing speech class. And I look at her and I say, what did I say, bro? I think I said, you supposed to be working on speech too? And she was like, what? And I was like, it was something like that. And she was like, what? And I was like, this fool's supposed to be working on his speech. He got like a 40 in speech class, and he ain't working on his speech. But he over here playing, I don't even remember what it was, bro. Some weird game. And she started laughing at him, right? I used him as the butt of a joke to break the ice. I did it. I'm guilty. But it worked, and he was cool with it. He was always cool with it. He was my wingman, bro. That was my boy. And so she laughed at it, and then she was like, no, I'm on Facebook. And she was like, I just come in here to get on Facebook, and that's it. And I noticed her accent I ain't never heard before in my life. It was a mix of American English and an accent from Africa. It was like a mix. And I liked it, bro. It was just, everything was just different. It was just different. And I had never seen skin that dark before. I was infatuated. I'm not gonna lie. And so she was shiny. Like, her skin was dark and it was shiny. Like, I'd never seen it before in my life. Whatever. And so she started telling me about Facebook, because I was like, I don't know what Facebook is. And that's how I ended up breaking the ice with her and actually started talking to her. We exchanged numbers through my cousin's girlfriend because I was too shy to ask for it. I asked my cousin's girlfriend, I was like, can you see if she'll give me her number? Because, you know, and she was like, yeah, ask her. And she asked her, and she gave it to her right away. And so I texted her one day, and that's how she got my number. So we started talking, and it wasn't even like talking, like dating talking. It was just like everyday stuff. You know, what you doing today? You know, every once in a while we do the good morning, good night text. Every once in a while we would catch up with each other and eat lunch together. It would be me and her and my cousin and his girlfriend eat lunch together outside in the Grove. But it wasn't like, hey, bae, and all that stuff. It never got to that point. And then, bro, here's the kicker. It's the end of the story. I thought we were doing okay. I was working up the nerve to ask her out and stuff. And one day I'm leaving the cafeteria, and I kid you not, this same exact day, I was preparing to ask her to be my girlfriend. Like, I was going to ask her out on an actual date, and that was going to be my way of saying, will you be my girlfriend? Because at one point in my life, I just decided asking somebody to be my girlfriend is for elementary kids. And it was high time that you just say, do you want to go out? You know, do you want to go to dinner, to a movie, blah, blah, blah. Because I found out that she actually only lived like 35 minutes away from where my parents lived, which is where I actually lived when I wasn't in the dorm. So on the weekend when I was working, she lived like 35 minutes away from me. And so I asked her, I was going to ask her, do you want to go to the movie? I was going to ask her that night. I was going to call her and say, hey, can we link up at the table that we usually link up at to eat or to talk or whatever, just to chill. And I was going to ask her that night, dog. I'm leaving the cafeteria that day. And it's kind of in the back of my mind, like, I'm going to ask her tonight. And I'm getting excited about it because, like I said, I'm shy. I'm still shy to this day. I don't have that social ability. She pulls up in her car next to me as I'm leaving the cafeteria. I'm walking down the sidewalk. I'm like, where the hell did you come from? But don't really think much of it. You know what I mean? So I get in the car because she says, hop in. She's smiling, hop in, blah, blah, blah. Jump in the car with her. She starts driving all around campus. We don't go straight back to my dorm. We drive all around campus. talking, just talking. And then all of a sudden, she hits me with, so why haven't you called me? It had been a couple days that I called or texted her. Like I think I texted her and was like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And she responded, but she wanted me to call her, like call and have a real conversation with her. But she hadn't told me that. She didn't call me and she hadn't told me that. So I was like, I was gonna actually call you tonight. And she was like, really? Or are you just saying that just because I picked you up and I asked you? And I was like, I was gonna call you tonight. Like I had something I wanted to ask you, so I was gonna call you and we were gonna go chill at our table. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even like I called it our table. We called it our table because it was a table that we always sat at. Nobody else ever sat at it. And it was a table that was connected to a building right outside of a classroom. So nobody really sat there. So we would just sit there. But it was a nice little spot, man, especially after classes were done for the day. It was a nice little spot. We just chilled there. And I told her that, and she was like, I really don't believe you. And I was like, what you mean you don't believe me? Like, when have I gave you a reason to not believe me? Like, I was going to call you and ask you to come chill with me because I need to talk to you about something. And she was like, I think that you have your eyes on somebody else. And I was like, no, I don't. I'm gonna give y'all a theory at the end of this too. Stay tuned. I was like, no, I don't. I was like, that's actually what I want to talk to you about tonight. And she was like, oh, really? Then why haven't you called me? And I was like, you haven't called me either. And she was like, I know, but you were supposed to call me. And I was like, what? What? We don't ever tell each other, I'm gonna call you. Like, we never do that. We just text or call each other. Like, it is never a set thing like that. We don't plan it. I'm confused. I'm over the moon confused, bruh. Like, my mind is blown right now, and I'm starting to think this girl's crazy. I'm starting to think she's crazy as hell. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on, bruh. And I hate to just jump right to she's crazy. But I really don't know what's happening in this moment. Like, I look like this. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm just sitting in the passenger seat. At this point, she's pulled up to my dorm, and we're sitting right outside the entrance of my dorm. And I'm like, no, I really was going to call you and ask you to come sit at our table, and I was going to talk to you about something important. And she was like, I mean, we can still do that, but I just feel like you don't want to be with me anymore. I was like, like, this is literally what I did, right? I'm sitting in the car, I'm like, be with you. We not together. Why I say that? Why I say that? She said it. She said, I feel like you don't want to be with me anymore. And I'm like, we not together. We not together. And I'm genuine, like, we're not together. I'm planning to ask you out tonight. We not together. We gonna go to the movies this weekend if you say yes. And that's gonna be the start of our relationship. Like, that's what I'm thinking, right? But I told her we're not together. And I realized I messed up when I said it. But I said it. And I meant it because we weren't together. We weren't. Neither one of us had been to that point yet to ask or say anything, to go out or anything like that. We haven't been out yet. And so she goes, that's right, we're not together because I'm breaking up with you. Excuse me? How you gonna break up with me? We're not together. Like, I didn't understand. And my brain just went to, bro, she's losing it. Like, at this point, get out of her car. And that's what I did. I didn't say anything else. Opened the door, got out, closed the door, went inside my dorm, went in my dorm room, took out my phone, deleted her number, closed my phone, it was a flip phone, put it on the bed and sat there and played the game. Jumped on Madden. That's what I did. My cousin came in the room later and I told him about it and he was like, when y'all get together? I was like, we ain't never been together. We never worked together. We were only in the like courting stage. That's where we were. We were not together. I don't know. But I think it was a cultural difference. I think that's what it was. It was a cultural difference. And no matter how I try to like justify it, I feel like to this day, hold on, bro. I feel like to this day, I look tired, man. Damn. I feel like to this day, I was the one in the wrong. Because I said we weren't together, and I feel like I broke her damn heart when I said that, because she probably had already started feeling like we were together. And it was probably a cultural thing because we exchanged numbers. She's from a different culture, bro. She's from Africa, somewhere in Africa. South Africa somewhere. No, not South Africa. I don't remember what part of Africa. I think it was actually somewhere in the western part of Africa. She was from Africa though. And I didn't understand because I had asked for a number. We had been talking. We weren't like talking. It wasn't no bae, no baby, no none of that. But it was just, I was exclusively talking to her. She was exclusively talking to me. She had broken up with her boyfriend. And I didn't think about like cultural differences, bro. She probably already think we're together. Or we're basically together to her. But that's not my theory. That's my theory. That was the end of it, by the way. Never spoke to her again after that. She actually sent me a long message on Facebook. Was it Facebook or email? She sent me a long message, email. She sent me a long email, bro. I mean, the longest email I've ever seen in my life. And she was explaining to me that she wished it would have worked. She was in love with me and that she was moving and she would have loved it if I came with her when she moved. But because I didn't feel the same way about her that she felt about me, she was leaving without me and she was going to be alone and I was going to be alone. Like, it was just a long email. To this day, I don't feel like she's crazy. Back then, though, that's where my mind went, bro. I was 18. That's where my mind went because I didn't understand what the hell was going on. But back then, if she had told me that she loved me, bro, I probably would have said it back, but I wouldn't have meant it because I didn't love her. Like, I just liked her. You know what I mean? I thought she was gorgeous and she was very cool. And it could have been love eventually, but I was 18 and I didn't understand what the hell love was for real. You know what I'm saying? I would have said it back as an immature kid and I wouldn't have known what I was talking about. Her brain was just on another level. But I think it had something to do with her culture. But here's the theory. My cousin's girlfriend, for the second time, my cousin had a girlfriend that had a crush on me. And every time she saw me have interest in a girl, she sabotaged it the best she could. She always had something negative to say about every girl I ever said was cute. Every single time she had something negative to say. Every single time. And I was like, I don't even know how you know all these girls. And I don't even have a real interest in some of these girls. I just said she's pretty. Every single time she had something negative. I didn't notice it until after that relationship died, before I even knew it began. Because she had actually told me that that girl had an STD. And I was like, what? I'm going to let her tell me that. I was still going to get with her. And I was going to let her tell me that. Simple as that. Simple as that. And I didn't notice until after that relationship died that that girl was sabotaging everything I tried to get. Every relationship I tried to have, she tried to sabotage it. And then after a while, she started trying to hang with me without my cousin all the time. And after a few times of her trying, I went to her and we hung out. And I told her straight up, I was like, I feel like you sabotage everything. Every time I start talking to a girl, you sabotage it. Every time I say a girl's cute, you say this girl has this problem or that problem or this crazy boyfriend, this one, or whatever. You always have something negative to say every time I say something good about a girl. Every single time. Her eyes started watering up. Her eyes started watering up. And I said, you ain't gotta cry. I just want to know why you do it. And she wouldn't tell me. She wouldn't tell me. All she said was, if you can't tell, then I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, that's when I decided at that moment, I was like, she got a crush on me. Just like his other ex had. And I was like, bro, you with my cousin. I don't find you attractive at all. And I've told my cousin, I don't find her attractive, bro. I've told him numerous times. Both of these exes that had a crush on me, I told him several times, I think you could do better. I think you could do better. My cousin ain't no ugly dude. I feel like you could do better, bro. I know you could do better. He has done better. Sabotage. Sabotage. He was a saboteur. And I feel like that's the real reason all this happened. Because I think communication was supposed to get passed through my cousin's girlfriend. More communication than was getting passed was supposed to get passed through my cousin's girlfriend, because she was the only direct line. Like, she was the middleman between me and her, outside of the phone, which at that time I had a prepaid joint, which she knew. The girl I was talking to, she knew I had a prepaid phone and I would run out of minutes. So I wouldn't even be able to talk. You know what I'm saying? Until after 9 o'clock when it was free, or 7 o'clock, whatever time it was, when it was free. And so, man, I feel like I got a booger. And so she just would not pass along messages from the other girl to me. And I feel like at some point she was supposed to pass a message from her to me that would have told me I need to move forward with how I felt. Weirdest relationship situation I've ever been in my life, bro. Didn't even know I was in a relationship and got dumped on the curb. Didn't even know I was in a relationship and got dumped on the curb. And that was the biggest crush I had ever had until my wife. Biggest crush I ever had until I met my wife. Then my wife was an instant crush. 3 days later, I told her, I told my wife I loved her after 3 days. And I meant every word of it. And it's been almost 10 years that we've been married. It's been 9 years we've been married, and 10 years we've been together. Meant every word of it. But that girl was the biggest crush I had up until my wife. Would have been the first serious relationship that I had been in that was like a real serious relationship as an adult until my wife. Crazy. Got sabotaged at the door after like 2 months of working on that thing. After 2 months of working up the courage and ability to go forward with the asking and all that, and making it official and all that stuff. Saboteur. I never spoke to that girl again after that. My cousin's now ex. Never spoke to her again after that day. And I told my cousin, and he was like, I had a feeling. He still, you know what I'm saying? He had to, he still had to do his thing, and then he got out of it. He got out of it after that. I I don't think he told her that he knew. But it was just weird, man. It was just weird. If y'all got any crazy ass stories, man, let me know in the comment section, because that to me was just wild, bro. It was just wild. I'm sorry I had to build up to it like that. It's a podcast episode, you know what I'm saying? You got to make it stretch a little longer than just like 5 minutes, because I could have definitely got through it in like 5-10 minutes. But here we are at 35. Thank y'all for watching. This is a bonus episode, only available on YouTube. So, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, when we get that monetization mark, we're going to make the bonus episodes subscription only. So people who pay to be subscribed to the channel, or people who are members of the channel, there it is, members of the channel will be the only ones that have access to these episodes. But for now, everybody on YouTube exclusively. Do I have anything else to say? Follow me on Twitter at IMDKTJ. Shout out Team Rays, and we out.